Hey everyone, welcome back to Reseller Rowboat. Poshmark suspended me, but I got it lifted and I'll show you how. Let's launch this Reseller Rowboat. Hey everyone, Beth here with Reseller Rowboat, back for another Rock and Talk. How are you? I hope you had a great week. I have lots of updates today for my talk last week, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. I want to let you know that after 3 months, my Facebook was restored. I got everything back, all my accounts, my videos, everything. The only thing I can think of that maybe happened was when I was suspended from Facebook, it said I had 120 days to protest, which I did, but nothing happened. And I'm just wondering that after the 120 days, because that would have been the day it came back, then they went ahead and looked at it, and that's when they looked at my response or whatever, and they took me back. I wish they wouldn't have waited so long, but I'm glad I didn't start another account. Now that's Facebook. I was suspended on Facebook, but I was also suspended on Poshmark, and we're going to get to that in just a second. I know a lot of you are very, very curious. But first I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about eBay. Then I'm going to talk about Poshmark, and then I'm going to talk about Shopify. So right now I am 3.2% down on eBay from last month. And my 7-day total is $1,104, which is down from the last time, right? We talked about that. The lady who ordered 15 items from me, well, she did order another top from me about 2 days later, and that was it. She's received her order as of, I believe, Tuesday. She has not left me any feedback. So I'm still waiting to see if she's going to return any or all of it. So really no news there on that one. Tonight I have changed my categories in my store. I do this at the end of every month. If you haven't watched me before, I use what I call the tiered system on eBay, and that is the first store category of my items shows where in my inventory room the item is stored. I store them by pattern and color. And so when I'm ready to take inventory of one section, I just take that store category down, all those items. I do the inventory and then I put them back up. The second store category tells me approximately when the item was first listed. And so at the end of every month, if something has been listed for 4 months, it goes into another category, and that tells me that it will now go on sale for 20% off. Once it's been listed for a year, then or 6 months, then it goes into the next category, and then once it's been listed a year, it goes into another category, and then once it's been listed 2 years, it goes 40% off or best offer. So I do that at the end of the month, and typically what happens is the first day of the month I don't get very many sales, and I always thought it was because eBay's trying to get all these categories lined up and everything's kind of different in my store. But actually in April it didn't affect it at all. April was like my best month in a long time, and I from the get-go, April 1st, I started making sales. So maybe that's not true. Maybe that's not what really happens when I do that. Also, the end of the month I back up my hard drive. I scan my receipts for the month. I run the eBay duplicate listing scanner, and I really try to do that twice a month though. And one thing that I haven't been doing that I was supposed to do the last of the month is record my numbers. Like on the first of the month, I record the last month's numbers and like how many sold, ASP, that kind of thing. Been really lax in that area since I've been working on my Shopify store. So tomorrow I'm going to try to play catch up. I'm probably like 3 or 4 months behind on that, to be honest with you. So I think that's all I do, and tomorrow we're going to go get our hair cut, and then when we get back, that's what I plan on doing, is those things. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about what I know you guys want to know. As of last week, I told you I had not been suspended on Poshmark, and I wasn't until yesterday. And yesterday I took 2 different items down from Poshmark because I was inventorying them. And then that was in the morning, I think. And then in the afternoon, I was listing items. And I tried to list 2 items, and it said that I was suspended for... The message was that I had delisted or ended too many listings, basically. And so I guess they were talking about from the morning. I don't know. And I remember telling you guys last week that I wasn't going to be upset about it. You know, I don't really make that much money on Poshmark, and I was just going to go with the flow. But the more I got to thinking about it, it causes a real problem for me if I can't list on Poshmark for 7 days, because I typically put between 15 and 30 up on eBay every day. And some of them go to Shopify and Poshmark, and some of them go just to Poshmark. And that's going to create this big space in my list perfectly where I can't get it done. And then I'm going to have to go and figure out which ones have been done. And it's going to just be a pain in the butt, to be honest with you. And so I was like, oh, you know, this, I don't like this. So I replied to the email kind of snarkily and told them that I thought that the policy was ridiculous, and that, you know, if I try to sell something that I don't have on Poshmark, you send me this nasty message saying don't sell things you don't have. And that, you know, if I put it not for sale, then if I go on vacation, when I come back and take it off of vacation mode, then everything that was made not for sale will now be available, and I'm not going to know which items I have and which items I don't. You know they're not reading this crap, right? But it made me feel better. Now, this is awesome. I'm going to tell you what happened, and you can do this too. So I'm on Facebook again, right? And I have a subscription to Sidekick Tools. Some of you have heard me talk about Sidekick Tools. Some of you have taken advantage of my referral code, which is below in the description if you're interested. Sidekick Tools is an amazing tool, and one of the creators is Michael Jean. He's a CEO and co-founder, and he has a Facebook page, and he is very, very active over there. All right. And he made a post about this very issue. And he said, if you will click on this link, and there are 2 templates, 2 letters. One is for if you were suspended, and one is for if you've gotten a warning. Pick one of them, copy it, just hit copy. It'll go to your clipboard. Reply to that Poshmark message that told you were either suspended or you're getting a warning. Copy and paste this letter in there and hit send. And that a lot of his subscribers, their suspensions were lifted. Now, the Poshmark letter that I got, email I got, told me why I was suspended. It said, you know, delisting too much. Well, I went ahead and clicked on his template, and it's pretty long. I would say it's like 3 paragraphs long, and one of the paragraphs mentions, you know, please let me know exactly what I did wrong. Please explain. And so I replied to his Facebook post, and I said, you know, I really don't need to I would like to use this letter, but I really don't need for Poshmark to tell me what I did wrong. I know what I did wrong. And he replied to me. He's the CEO, and he replied to me right away. He said, use the template. Go ahead and send it anyway. And I was like, okay, I'll play along, you know. So I went back to my email and I sent the template letter. And in less than 2 hours, my suspension was lifted. Okay. Now, a couple of months ago, I was thinking about, let me go ahead and tell you a little bit. I'm not being sponsored by Sidekick Tools. Let me make that very clear. Okay. Not in this video. Sidekick Tools does all types of things like cross-listing, sharing, making offers, delisting and relisting. It runs silent auctions for you, and you don't have to be present in the auction. I'm sure I'm leaving things out. It uses all different platforms, you know, Mercari and Etsy and Depop and all those things. I'm not really taking full advantage of their services right now. I'm only having them share, and I'm having them make offers right now. And so it's $29.99 a month. And I specifically got it in the first place so that I could run the silent auctions, but I'm not doing that right now. So I was thinking about saving myself $10 because it's $30 and adding the sharing part of List Perfectly to my List Perfectly subscription for $20 and just have them share, I'll tell you what, it's worth it. Paying the extra $10 to have a CEO who immediately responds to you and answers your questions and is always there supporting the sellers. I'm going to stick with Sidekick Tools, guys. And I had every intention of coming here and telling you guys, if you're suspended, you might want to give Sidekick Tools a try. I didn't feel like I could give you the letter because Michael and his team wrote it. I didn't feel like that was right. I was just going to send you over to Sidekick Tools and maybe do a trial. The trial is 7 days or 30 days. The 7-day one is super easy. If you want 30 days, all you have to do is send them a receipt of your current cross-listing software, and you'll get a 30-day free trial. But let me tell you, you won't need 30 days to make up your decision. So anyway, again, my referral code is below. But anyway, I was going to do that, and I was like, maybe people will want to give Sidekick Tools a try. They've been so gracious to their subscribers to create this letter that actually worked. Now, I don't know if it will work again, if I get suspended again, but it worked the first time. So today on Facebook, Michael was saying, hey, we don't care about we don't care about getting more subs. That's not what this is about, making more money. He said, share this letter with everyone you know, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, share it. We just want to help people. So below in the description is a link to the letters. There's 2 letters, like I said, one for suspension and one for warning. Pick which one applies to you. If neither one applies to you now, if I were you, I would save that link for later, because let me tell you, it's coming. I don't know if you watched Casey's last video, but there are people who are being suspended for taking only one item down. It's ridiculous. And again, Michael, if you're watching this video, thank you so much for your kindness, for not putting money above everything else, but putting people. We're people, and I really appreciate it. I know my subscribers appreciate it. And below, let me know if you've been suspended. Go ahead and try it and let me know if it worked. All right, I can almost guarantee you it will work. So I don't know what happens if this happens again to me. I mean, I've gone this long without being suspended, so I don't know. I'm sure it's going to happen again. I just know, because I'm not changing my business to appease a company who wants you to doesn't want you taking your items down when they sell somewhere else. It's just ridiculous. So I even told a friend before I found out about the suspension response letter that my feeling was almost to just take everything down as it sold on other platforms and just not relist anything else on Poshmark, because it was just going to be more of a pain in the butt to figure out what I had listed and what I had not. And, maybe one day they'll see, they're making less money because the less items we can put up for sale, the less sales they're going to make, right? Now, you would have thought by now they would have figured that out. So something's going on, guys. I don't really know. So I have this piece of hair that's just like... Anyway, so that's great news. Michael, again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let me see if there was anything else that I left out of that. Yeah. All right, so we've talked about eBay, talked about Poshmark. On Poshmark, here's another one of my gripes. is I had a $272 order the other day on Poshmark. The lady ordered 17 items from me in a bundle. And normally when people put that many items in their bundle, I don't make an offer because a lot of times they're not serious. They're just going through and they're just clicking stuff, you know. And in order for me to make an offer on Poshmark, again, I have to go and make sure I have it in stock, you know, because sometimes things don't get taken off correctly. And so that means I got to go through my inventory room and look for 17 items. And then if I have them all in stock, then make them an offer. And 9 times out of 10, they never accept my offer. So when I saw these, my phone was going off constantly. This person added, this person added, this person added, which reminds me, I got to plug in my phone. It's about to die. So she made me an offer, and it was only like $40 less than what my total was already. So I thought that was a great offer. Well, it doesn't end up being such a great deal because, hold on, that popped up something on my screen here. Okay, so it doesn't end up being as great of a deal because, number one, they take 20% off the top. Okay, so $272, that's like $54 off of that, right? 20%. So now we're down to let's just make it $220. And then when I weighed it, I knew I was going to pay over because after 5 pounds you have to pay over. Well, the 15 item lay on eBay was 9 pounds, and this was 17. But it didn't have a pair of jeans in it. But what it did have is 2 really heavy pairs of pants. And it was 11 pounds. Excuse me. 11 pounds. So when I go over to make the new label, the most they have on there is 10 pounds. And this was 11 pounds. And so I bought it. You know how much it was? $30. I had to pay $30 of my money to ship an 11-pound box. Can't remember where it was going to. But it has to go priority. I thought, well, maybe I can go to pirate ship, do Grand Advantage, and then give the lady the tracking number. I don't even know if you're allowed to do that. And then if it's Grand Advantage, it's not going to get there when it says it is. So then I'm going to get, you know, slapped on the hand for that. Well, she didn't send it priority, you know. So this is when we were talking about last week how pros and cons of selling at my age at 63. I have a job. I have caregiving responsibilities. I had to get to work that morning. It's staring into me a face. $30, Beth, $30 to ship this thing. And I'm thinking, I'm just going to do it. Like, I don't have time to figure this out. I Googled it a couple of times and saw, well, you got to pay over. It said something about you could use another shipping service, but it didn't really, what I was reading didn't go into detail like how to do that. And so I just paid the $30. So now we're down to like, I don't know, $130. We're down to about $190, $180 maybe. So I probably made maybe $10.50 on each item. And then I paid 50 cents to $1. So let's say I cleared $9.50 on each item, which is a good turnover for me coming from someone who had a physical bookstore and was making pennies on every sale of every book. But it was the hassle, the stress. And then I went ahead and took the box to the post office because I didn't want my mail carrier to be picking up an 11-pound box that they weren't expecting. And of course, when I got there, the kiosk wasn't working because the lady hadn't added paper to the printer. So I had to put it on the counter with just, you know, the hope that it would be scanned. And I'm pretty sure that it's in transit now. So that was another Poshmark issue that I think if they could make that a little bit more clear, how you pay for something and put the tracking in. I mean, will they really take the tracking? I don't know. I don't know if I message the buyer with the tracking number and then they get it. with that service proof? Like, I really don't know. And I haven't had time, to be honest with you, to look that up anymore. I was like, I got it. It's gone. Good riddance. Okay. All right. So I think I got everything taken care of. Poshmark. All right. So Shopify. I got my new business cards. This is what they look like. I'm happy with them, except I should have put plus size fashion for less. Instead, I put at great prices. The next time I reorder this, it's going to say for less. I mean, it's okay, but this is a lot better than what I had before. Okay, we talked about that last week. Can you believe this video from last week was uploaded on Saturday, and I've already got my business cards from Vistaprint. This is another reason why you pay more. The service is incredible. Now, thank you to my subscribers, those of you who replied last week about my promotional item that I should put in my packages. It was unanimous. Mini emery boards. Why didn't I think of that? That's why I have you. You guys are so smart. So Kimmy told me that when she went to Nashville, everything that was in her swag bag has already been, disposed of. But she has her emery board, and she uses her emery board. So that's what I bought. I had two different companies to choose from, Rush Imprint and 4 Imprint. I know you guys are so sick of those 4 Imprint commercials. I went ahead and chose Rush Imprint because I knew somebody else who had used them. And, it says Rush in the name, right? So I'm thinking, I'm going to go with Rush Imprint, And this was my fault. But I ordered 1,000 emery boards on the website, and I asked for a, a proof of what it's going to look like. And I hit, proof, and I uploaded what I wanted it to look like and everything. And I hit go, and then I just assumed that they got it, and it said 3 days from now, in about 3 days, you should get, a proof from us, right? And that was the Memorial Day weekend. And see, that was Friday. I think it was Friday night. Yeah, right after I recorded this video. Well, about Tuesday, I thought, you know what? I haven't got an email from them. And it's now been several days. Not really 3 days, but I just want to make sure, So I emailed them, and the lady said, no, we don't have that. We don't show that you've even sent us anything. It's like, crap. So right there, that's 4 days. Okay. Remember, I've already ordered these business cards on Friday. So Friday night, I ordered these. So she said, why don't you just send me over what you want? And I'm like, okay. So we did it through email instead of through the website. And I just sent her what I and then she said, okay, I'm sending it to the artwork people and the art department. And then the next day was Wednesday. And then by the time I got that one, I approved it. I think it's Thursday morning. I approved it yesterday. Yeah, I approved it Thursday. And then, of course, I had to pay. And so I was like, I don't know how to pay. Are you going to set me up something online? Which is what I thought she originally was going to do. And I ended up paying by email. And then I had to approve the payment. That was this afternoon. And then she said it'll be like 7 to 10 business days. And I'm like, that's rush? Like, I was expecting 5 days. I mean, look at Vistaprint, guys. I'm sorry, so now they're saying 7 to 10 days. Now, I'm hoping they're going to be like Vistaprint, because actually these weren't supposed to arrive until June 2nd. So Vistaprint does what I like to do. They under-promise and over-deliver. So I have 2-day handling, but I typically ship the next day. So a lot of people will leave feedback for me saying, wow, I got this sooner than expected. So I think that's kind of what Vistaprint does. They know that it's going to come earlier, but they put, later. So, because I was like, okay, I'm going to get my business cards on Tuesday, but I'm going out of town, so I won't be able to use them until I get back on Thursday. And then I get home from work today, and there they are. Like, I was just so happy. Yeah. So that's what's going on there. Thanks again to you guys for the emery board suggestion. I think once I get the emery boards in the packages, I'm going to feel a lot better. And these business cards. Okay, and I think that's all I wanted to say about that. So, YouTube. I am going to probably have a YouTube haul video on my other channel. I'm going to put it in the description box below. It's 10 of Hearts store. I'm going to show you a haul of extra large and up clothes, and I'm going to try to dual stream it on my Facebook page for 10 of Hearts. I tried to do that yesterday or Wednesday, but StreamYard had not approved my new YouTube channel yet, and I didn't know that. So I had to wait 24 hours for that. So look for that on Monday, probably after Josh's show, which would be, let's say, maybe 1 p.m. Central. I'll try to do that. So if you go to 10 of Hearts store, link below, and subscribe and hit the bell for all notifications, you'll know when my haul video starts. So it's a lot, guys. So I'm going to be out of town twice this week, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Sunday and Monday. I guess that would actually be the next week. So I have a lot of inventory. I have over 100 drafts saved up. I'm going to continue to pump those drafts. I've listed patriotic pierced earrings in my Shopify store. Again, that's 10ofheartstore.com. If you need a pair of patriotic earrings, there's only one pair. I only have one pair of each for right now. I mean, I have hot air balloons, bows, Uncle Sam's hat, teardrops, just all kinds of shapes, fun shapes and things like that. Flip-flops with the flag on it. Go on over to 10 of Hearts store. They should all be up now under Novelty Earrings Collection. And I just got some more charms in a few minutes ago, so I'm probably going to make some more charms while I'm gone. And tomorrow we're going to go get her hair cut. And if you're exiting now because I'm talking about personal things, please consider subscribing, hit the thumbs up, and leave me a comment. I'd really appreciate it. And share my video with others. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so tomorrow we're getting our hair cut. And Helga, if you're watching, our hairdresser just purchased a new building. She has lots of different suites with, for different hairstylists. She has a masseuse, it looks like, someone doing nails. I've seen the videos. The place looks amazing. I'm sorry I missed the open house today, but I had to work. And it's probably better that I didn't go because of all the food I saw there and the champagne, mimosas, and all that, because I'm watching my calories. But I will see you tomorrow. Can't wait. I feel like I haven't lost any weight this week. Last week when I checked in, I had lost 10 pounds. Don't feel like I've lost any more this week, and I don't know why. Although we did cheat yesterday for the first time in ages. Jania really technically didn't cheat because she still had enough calories left. I did not. I went over by 300 or 400 calories. We ordered Chick-fil-A because neither one of us were feeling that great. And we just wanted to cheat finally. But like I said, it wasn't cheating for her. And the day before that, we went swimming, and my Fitness Pal gave me 505 extra calories for swimming, and I didn't use those extra calories. So I'm not really sure why I feel like I haven't lost weight. I'm supposed to weigh on Sunday, so I will let you know how that goes. But I've been sticking to my calories, and I just don't feel... My pants are super loose, though. I need to go into my inventory room and pull my next size is what I need to do. And because I just look like a homeless person, and my pants are all baggy at work and everything, and I just like, look like a ragamuffin or something. Isn't that what you call somebody like that? I don't know. Anyway, I just look like not all put together today. But it's been raining all week. We had terrible storms today at work. It was like a monsoon. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you're doing and how your sales are. And I think I've said everything that I want to say. Like I said, I really like this format. It's very relaxing to me, and I don't have to worry about driving and watching the road. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget that we are all in this business boat together, so paddle on. And may God keep you in his pocket. Have a great weekend. Bye.